Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to our Home Roots National Online Folk Festival performance. It's weird because I feel like I should introduce us, but because it's the internet, you can not only see our names on the video you're watching, but have probably looked through all our photos and know everything about us and the trips we've taken and all that. So who needs to say anything in advance, you know? But I will. I'm Ian Foster and Mrs. Nancy Hynes, and we're going to play for you for 45 minutes to an hour or so, and Nancy has a little iPad off to the side here, so even though we're a bit back from our computers, we do have that ability to check comments, so we'd love to hear from you, make this as interactive as possible. And just know, if you don't already know this, that Facebook has a bit of a delay, so I think like I'm currently talking about 30 seconds in the future or so to you. So if you do comment, there's a little bit of a delay anyway, even if we're not playing a song. So yeah, shall we just...
Hi to all of you, and all of you that I see watching already. I've seen a bunch of familiar faces: Mike, Abby, Shauna, Jim, Trudy. Oh my gosh.
Oh, so cool.
All the people we wish we could see in person right now.
Totally. And, you know, we've done one other one of these before a couple of weeks ago, and, you know, nothing's going to replace a live show, of course, but, you know, the coolest thing about it that I've been telling people is, like, you know how I guess people talk about, like, their dream concert, you know, performers maybe talk about their dream audiences sometimes, you know, in the sense that everywhere you go, you meet, you know, special people everywhere, and just some people kind of stay with you as you move on to the next place. And the concert we did a few weeks ago, it just felt like it was this amazing mix of people from our shows in Europe, or from parts of the United States, or across Canada, other parts of our island of Newfoundland here. So I think that's a really that was a really special thing to see that. So
Absolutely. Hi, Grant. Thanks for letting us know. Grant says sound sounds good.
Oh, good. Okay.
So far.
Thanks, Grant. Yeah, excellent. So we've got our Home Roots team watching as well, and gonna monitor / heckle us, I guess, digitally. If
Seriously, we don't even need to play. I could just stand here watching all the people saying hi to us.
Yeah, totally. This is just an info session, actually. We'll do the concert next week. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I guess we'll start with a song and go from there. So this is a song called Right Here. Seems like now we crossed the river wide. Seems like now I got you by my side. Now all we gotta do is try to remain true to the little bit of faith these wandering hearts provide. Seems like now we're at a mountain low. Seems like now it'd be easy to let you go, but I don't want some twist of fate losing me your pretty face. Don't know much, that's one thing that I know. Oh, what does it mean? All these spaces in between, losing love and letting it set you free. Or maybe it's easier than we ever thought it could be. So slow down, darling, stay right here with me. Seems like now I've been on the road so long. Seems like now your voice is just a song, sweet and low, something I need, coming to me on the breeze, breaking my heart just before it's gone. Oh, what does it mean? All these spaces in between, losing love and letting it set you free. Or maybe it's easier than we ever thought it could be. So slow down, darling, stay right here with me. does it mean? All these spaces in between, losing love and letting it set you free. Or maybe it's easier than we ever thought it could be. So slow down, darling, stay right here with me. Slow down, darling, stay right here with me. Slow down, darling, stay right here with me. All right, thank you. I assume you're clapping in your pajamas. At least, hopefully, you are. If you're in Newfoundland, anyway, it's going for 11 o'clock here. But how we doing, Nancy? Are we
Good,
okay?
good. Randy Ward, nice to meet you too. Apparently, we were supposed to be playing there in May.
Oh yeah, right on, right on. Hey, Randy, how's it going? Hopefully, we just rebooked the home route circuit, the same one for I think it's February or March 2021, which. Man, that feels like an eternity, of course, but it'll happen. So hopefully we'll see all the people we were supposed to see just a year from now, kind of thing. Yeah.
Matt, thanks. Matt says sounding good. Shauna says cute room.
Totally. This is our little home studio, and we're sort of on a weird angle here. Just so you know, it's a very bizarre panoramic webcam that we're using. This is actually a full-size grand piano in front of me. It just looks so tiny through this reversed panorama. I have a very dry sense of humor, just so you guys know.
If you saw Ian's post earlier about the fact that we were going to have stories and jokes tonight, you might have noticed that the quality of the jokes was not guaranteed.
That's right, and that was a great example of that, I think. Yeah. So I guess I'll do a
Hi,
quick...
Kim.
Oh, cool. Hey, Kim, how's it going?
You missed right here. Just one song. That's all you've missed. Come on in.
So I guess I'll do a quick little thing. We'll say this maybe a few times throughout the show just because of the nature of the pop in and out of Facebook Live. But the home route story we were going to do was about 12 shows of 22 that were going to be happening as of March 26th and running until May 7th. And, of course, they were canceled due to the pandemic. And so, I should say postponed. Like I said, we're moving them all ahead. But it's a very strange time for everybody. Musicians, obviously, we can't really get out and do our shows. And so we're doing the next best thing. We're trying to still work by doing shows like this. So if you feel inclined, there is a PayPal me button at the top of the post. And so that's basically the sort of pay what you can for this show, if you'd like to do that. And what we'll include as well, we launched a new song last week that was very special to us. It was just written last week, recorded last week, and released all in a week span, which is something we never do. It's called Sienna. It's from my brothers and sisters in Italy. And so if you do donate tonight, we've been selling that as a pay what you can as well. So we'll email you a high resolution file. You can stream it on YouTube for free as well, but we'll send you the files if you want to throw some cover charge or whatever we want to call it for online. I don't know how it works yet. It's so new. But
hi to Howard and my Aunt Eloise. Howard. I bet Uncle Glenn is there too. Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going? And good timing. So Kim Henry wrote a message earlier requesting a song. So we're going to play that one now. It's called Feels Like It Wants to Rain. And I was thinking about it today. Kim, correct me if I'm wrong or praise me if I'm right, I guess. But I think that I met you on the tour that for this album, Sleeper Years, I guess it would have been 2017. It was my first time in the Washington area, and I did a Focus music show. I opened for a great musician named Martin Joseph. You should look him up if you don't know, Welsh singer-songwriter. And that was such a cool time to be, it was just my first introduction to that amazing city, and I got to sort of explore a little bit. And I remember it was around this time of year. I want to say it was April, and like cherry blossoms were out, which I'd never experienced here since it's still winter part 2 in Newfoundland. It was strange to see spring somewhere else, but anyway. So this one's for Kim. This Feels Like It Wants to Rain. Seems we have reached a critical call, a selling point, a Berlin Wall. Down an American highway, the road empties out to a piano unplayed in an empty house. I wanted to believe that the weather was done, but the clouds overhead tell me we should run. I've been scratching and digging and dancing around these words on a page that would hold their ground. But it seems we're just in for the same. Feels like it wants to rain. Feels like it wants to rain. Well, if it's bred in the bone, if it runs in the blood, how do we not see the storm before we stood in the flood? If we're free to climb to higher ground, why not take my hand and not choose to drown? Well, I guess we just took ourselves in vain. Feels like it wants to rain. Feels like it wants to rain. Well, we are long past the Bible now, we're into the brush. Long past the gold and into the rush. We are closer than ever, yet fear and embrace. We're just rebel hearts growling while we're looking for grace. We keep changing and changing, but the lesson is the same. Feels like it wants to rain. Feels like it wants to rain. Well, we walked in hope down these ancient alleys, born of a time before our sweet follies. Our love was one red room, sweet girl, when suddenly around us was this world. And I feel like you and I have been framed. Feels like it wants to rain. Feels like it wants to rain. Oh, and good hearts cannot take the blame. Feels like it wants to rain. Cool, cool. How we doing, Nancy? How's the comment section? I'm always like, I never thought I'd be so looking forward to looking at a comment section as a comment section on a folk show. You know, it's very different than normal internet comment sections usually.
Well, first of all, you're welcome, Kim. We're happy to play that for you.
You're welcome, Kim.
I think it's interesting that someone we know has this on their running playlist, like to go for a jog.
Oh, cool. Yeah, right on. Are they from Newfoundland? Because it does always feel like it's going to rain here, so it kind of is always a propose to...
Yeah, it's Jim.
Yeah, right on.
It's Jim.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Here's a weird one. I'm just going to shout this out and ask, and maybe they can comment. I guess we'll do a song in between, because I don't know the lag, but is Michelle Power here today yet? We were having a little chat earlier online, so I just wanted to check. If you're here, say something in the comments, and then Nancy can alert me. But in the meantime, I'll swap guitars here.
This is so weird and cool.
Yeah.
We're just in our house. I was in jogging pants like 15 minutes ago, let's be honest. So thanks for giving me a reason to not wear jogging pants.
It's funny, like when life gets back to normal, is every songwriter going to be like, so what distance do I have to travel for this show? Because all my shows the last X number of months have been in my basement. So
yeah, we didn't carry gear anywhere. We just took it out of a closet and set it up.
Yeah, like there's definitely no kilometer mileage for these shows on getting here, you know. Anyway, we're going to try. We did a little setup.
Michelle Power is here.
Oh, she is here. Okay, cool. Hey, Michelle, we're gonna do that song in a minute. We did this little setup here. You could see some microphones. We mic'd things up so we'd get some of the effects that we like to try to use live. You know, obviously it's cool to play just acoustic, but I like to use some reverbs and delays, and hopefully they're going to come through. You know, you never know when it's got to go through your system and then through Facebook and to your computer. Hopefully that makes it to you wherever you are in the world. Okay, but we're going to try this song, which is a new song, working on a new record right now, and this is one of the songs on it. And it's called Voyager, and if you haven't heard this song before from us, I guess the best thing I could do to intro it is to say it's somewhat of an ode to a space probe, and even though you're on the internet, this is probably the only ode to space probe you're going to find in song form on the whole internet. I would guess tonight, maybe, we'll see. But basically, I was thinking about the Voyager 1, you know, that was launched in, I think it was 77. They thought it would last a few years. It just passed 40 years old a few years ago, and it's still out there. It's still sending back pictures of us. It's sending us pictures of what our universe looks like. It's informed so much about how we think about ourselves and the galaxy, and it's, you know, a beacon, I think, in many ways for science and truth in a time where we have a lot of questions about that. So I tried to write a song that, you know, alludes to a little bit of that, and anyway, here it is. It's called Voyager. And I used a couple of delays and reverb, so hopefully my acoustic guitar right now will sound a little spacey to you through your computer speakers. Hopefully that's working. This is all an experiment, but all to set the vibe. Tell us where you are in the space between the stars. Is there an answer out there? Hope there's an answer out there. I know you're growing old. No one thought this ship would hold. We were wrong, you took your shot. We've been wrong about a lot. So just keep talking. You're something we can trust. So just keep talking. Bring the stars to us. Have you seen some holy force? A correction to our course. If there was a finish line, you cross it all the time. So just keep talking. You're something we can trust. So just keep talking. Bring the stars to us. Because we're counting on you. The lens that we see through. We're down here with the walls, and you're up there with it all. So just keep talking. Just keep talking. And tell us where you are in the space between the stars. Oh, tell us where you are Well, yeah, that's Voyager. So hopefully that came through okay with the whole reverbs and delays and stuff like that. Nancy, tell us about your microphone in that song, if it came through properly. I love how this has inherited a name now when we do our shows.
Yeah. I had a lovely young woman come up to me at the break on a show once and just ran up to me and she went, "I love your mermaid mic." So now it's my mermaid mic, and we exclusively call it that. TM, copyright? I don't know, whatever you need to use. And I love it. Use it for a couple of songs. Makes me feel like I'm floating on clouds.
Yeah. There was a lady in Waterloo who was so sweet at one of our Christmas shows, and we did that song. We did a few non-Christmas songs during our Christmas tour, and she came up and spoke to me, and then she walked over to Nancy, and she just sort of like looked at her with wide eyes, and then she went, "You're Voyager," which I thought was
true.
You are the space probe Voyager.
It's my new identity. For the couple of people asking, we're at home in St. John's, Newfoundland, isolated together. Please help me.
It's only been 2 days. No, it's been many more than 2 days.
For those of you that don't know, did you already say this? That we are a couple, so we live together. So we're
allowed to be
isolating,
less than 6 feet apart, yeah.
And it's okay that we're together doing this show.
And this is my home studio, part of the space anyway. I'm a record producer as well, as a songwriter who tours, and it's one of my favorite parts of the couple of jobs that I do, because I like working in the studio. I like working on sounds and working with some amazing artists who I've had the pleasure of recording records with. Melanie O'Brien is a very old friend of mine. I've worked on all of her records, and a new record from her and Phil Goodridge called The Duds, which just came out last week. So if you look that up, it's called Words I Can't Forget. It's on all the streaming services, literally a week old, so check that out. Also some great artists named like Kat McCleavey, who's just fantastic. She lives in Ontario now, but I worked on her debut record. Rosemary Lawton, a wonderful fiddler here, I worked on her debut record. Yeah, there's just so many great artists, and I get to work with them in a couple of studios around town and in my basement studio where we are right now.
That's right. Every once in a while, I get to sing harmonies on those records, which is exciting for me. But mostly I just get to listen to all the cool music being made in our house, so
yeah, totally.
It's nice.
Totally. So I mentioned a song ago, I'm going to play this grand piano. Like I said, it's a huge piano. It's just the web mic that makes it look super tiny here in front of me. But I'm going to do this song. I got an ask from Michelle earlier today, and I really hope that our viewership does not drop immediately when I give the intro to this song.
Please stick with us.
Stick with us. I promise it won't be quite what you're expecting when I say this next part. But she wrote, and she mentioned that she has been away from her mom for a little while because they've been isolating separately, and she really wanted to hear, they're both watching tonight, so they really wanted to hear this song that reminded her of family. I thought that was very sweet. It's called A Week in December. It's the title track from our Christmas record. Hold on, don't leave. I swear, this is not, it's, okay, the rest of the set will be Christmas songs, obviously.
No,
I'm just
don't
kidding.
stay with
I'm
us.
just kidding. But
He's
this is a song that I wrote for the record, and I guess it's more seasonal in some ways. You know, it is just about the idea of coming home for that week in December and trying to describe, you know, the place where you're from and who you get to see and the bittersweetness of it all, but more the sweetness, I think. Anyway, so this is from Michelle and her mom.
Coming home, being with people you love, which a lot of us can't do right now, you know.
It's tough.
We haven't seen our parents either, so...
But they're also watching through their non-Facebook accounts tonight, and will call me after and probably say we couldn't get it to load, and then I'll have to help them load it. So for any of you out there kind of struggling with that, and I know we all are, this is A Week in December. It's a change in the air that lets me know it's time to buy a ticket home. 7 days at the end of another year, when everyone I know tries to be there, flying over the island in the frozen night.
Even the runway looks like Christmas lights. Picked up at the airport by Mom and Dad, complaining about the jive they had. And I know couldn't ask for better. I'm back home for a week in December. Now I'm stumbling down Bond on a Christmas mission to your big house with the tiny kitchen. We'll crowd in there and I'll see your face. It puts me more at home than any place. And tell me I'm looking just the same. Do I still like the job? Do I hate the game? I tell you I've been kicking our bad old ways. And you cheers my glass for old time's sake. And we drink a little more because we remember it's only gonna be for a week in December. I'll be out to see a show, talk over the music to those I know. Someone asks if I like it in Calgary. I say that it's okay, they don't hear me. Downtown is ready for winter night. Old clapboard and changing lights. We don't have much, but we got this right. The hustle and the bustle to keep it all bright. On these old streets in miserable weather, we got it all for a week in December. Yeah, I got it all for a week in December.
There you go, Michelle. Hope you enjoyed that.
Michelle and her mom,
Michelle
who got
and
the
her
link
mom.
to work.
Of course.
Fantastic. Hi, Michelle's mom as well. Mrs. Michelle's mom. I'm not sure what your name is. I was thinking while we were doing that, please, for those that just joined, we're not doing a set of Christmas music. That was a special request. Please stick around for non-Christmas music going forward. But I was thinking that during this time where people have become housebound and obviously a lot more isolated, there's been a lot of reports of people putting their Christmas lights back up. Some people have put their trees back up just to brighten up their homes and to do something for their kids, or maybe they just love Christmas. And I think that's kind of cool.
I think so too. They've also in St. John's been doing the Harbor Symphony, I think to draw attention to all the amazing essential workers and the real heroes and all this that are doing incredible stuff. And we live right in downtown St. John's, so I can tell you that the other day, it was a balmy 4 degrees, and so we had the window open to remember what fresh air is. And the Harbor Symphony began, and I swear I was just in my living room, and I think I just like turned off a record and was having like a moment of silence to myself, kind of figuring out what to do with my day. And the first horn sounded, and then another horn, and for a minute I thought I was in some sort of crazy independent film that was being scored. It was just like this ominous swell that I was like, felt like I should just go out and
then
do
sirens
something, and then realized I definitely
people
shouldn't go
banging
out.
pots. And thank you to our frontline workers, those of you who have to be out there, that are essential workers right now. We're thinking of you, and thank you for doing what you do and for being willing to do what you do and showing up every day. And we appreciate you, and I know a lot of cities have been doing that kind of just show of support. We can't come give you a hug, right now. So, you know, blasting our car horns and banging pots out our window just to let you know that we see you.
Totally.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's happening all over the world, and we see you, and we appreciate you.
Totally.
Few new people have joined it. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew O'Brien has joined.
Oh, hey, man. How's it going?
Steve Stairs. And to Craig Mills, we do know the Mummer song, and we're not going to put all of you through that.
Craig, there's no need to troll the thread, you know. It's been going so well up to now. So I woke up this morning to a very nice post from Bernice Hillier. She works for CBC on the west coast of Newfoundland, and she posted about a song I wrote back for my 2014 record, The Great Wave. The song is called Down the Line, and I wrote it after a trip to Labrador for a festival up there. I wrote about a visit I made to a place called Black Tickle. I think the population was like 137 or something like that at the time. It's a very remote community. It's not connected by any roads. It's just boating in or flying in. And I was brought there by this festival to perform for the kids, K to 12. I think there was 23 kids in the whole school. That was all the kids in Black Tickle. And I just remember the whole experience left an impression on me in multiple ways. Number one, when I flew there, I was flying out of Goose Bay, which is one of the couple of bigger towns or cities in Labrador. And that morning when I arrived at the airport to fly out, I said, you know, so is this the flight to Black Tickle? Just wondering when it leaves. And the girl looked at me very straight-faced and said, well, you're the only one on the flight, so whenever you're ready to go, which I thought was pretty charming. And then the pilot came in, and I had a couple of guitars and some gear with me for the show, and he said, oh, man, what do you got there? And then we took out my guitars, and we jammed for 15 minutes. And as a frequent flyer of Air Canada, I can tell you that's not how they usually treat guitar players before flight. So I thought that was really good of PAL Airlines for doing that. And so we went outside after that to board the Twin Otter, which is a bush plane. It's, you know, the only plane that would fly to Black Tickle, landing on a dirt runway and all. And I was getting into it at this point, you know. I was sort of like, how high does this plane fly, you know? And he's like, how high do you want it to fly, you know? I'm like, wow, this is the Wild West up here. This is cool, you know. So we got on the plane, and he folded down a seat for me. It had been cargo before I got on, and I said, you know, when does the in-flight meal come? And he was like, he laughed, he closed the door. And as we were taking off, I was looking out my little porthole, and I felt a tap on my leg, and I look over, and he's handing me back a Twinkie from the cockpit, and he's like, here you go, here's your in-flight meal, you know. And he's still taking off, like with his other hand, he was on the throttle, you know. So I thought that was pretty cool, and so I got to Black Tickle, played for that whole school, K to 12, 23 kids. And as I was set up in their little gym and getting ready to go, this little boy walked towards me, and he said, I've got something for you. And he handed me a piece of paper, and it had a big stick man and a guitar and a little stick man. And he said, that's me and you, we're friends now. And I thought that was a really sweet gesture, kind of won my heart, you know. And Black Tickle is a community that is not doing so great, of course, with numbers that low. They've sort of lost their fishery and then their snow crab fishery at this point, and they're still hanging on, I think, but it's getting difficult to service a remote community like that in a place like Labrador. And so, but everybody there, you know, when you go to a place like that and you meet the people who've lived there their whole lives, it's their home. I mean, how could you ask people to leave their home? So I wrote this song pretty much right after. I was pretty affected by that. It's called Down the Line, sort of a song of good hope. And I guess it all ties back that this morning Bernice posted about it. And, you know, she told a bit of that story I just told you, but she said that, you know, she's been thinking about it in relation to all of this, and sort of some of the lyrics, I guess, are applicable to our current situation and sort of how we're trying to get through it. And, you know, I don't know. You can't speak about your own music, I guess, but I know in the sort of golden rule way what she means. There's so many songs that I, when I'm having a hard time, I turn to other music and apply it to my situation. So I don't know. That post meant a lot to me. I haven't played this song in a long time, but I figured no time like the present.
Let's break it out.
Yeah. So this is called Down the Line. Feels like the end was yesterday. Someone tell me what's today.
Feels like there's still ink in the pen. Someone tell me what to say and what to do with all of this anger. What'll I do with all this time? Feels like the wind's blowing the answer, but all I'm hearing is a sigh. Feels like the whole world doesn't see. Someone tell me how to show just what this old place means to me. Maybe some things we can't know, like what to do with the broken hand we're dealing. What do I do with all this time? Turn my head and be someone different, or keep my eyes on the end of the line. Hey. Feels like they think we want to take. We have always made our way. Even the kids know what's at stake. All they need is a reason to stay. So what do we do with the broken hand we're dealing? What do we do with all this precious time? You may say that I'm a fool for believing that there is something more coming down the line. So what do we do with the broken hand we're dealing? What do we do with all this precious time? You may say that I'm a fool for believing that there is something more coming down the line. That there is something more coming down the line. That there is something more coming down the line.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Once again, we're imagining you clapping, maybe in your pajamas or after supper or whatever. It's it's all an interesting experience, I suppose. The live show.
Hi to the two our New Brunswickers. Paul, I see you.
Oh, hey, Paul and Liz. I hope you're doing okay in all of this, of course. It's great to see you again at this show. Yeah. What do you think, Nancy?
Oh, I don't know. I don't do set lists. Don't look at me.
All right, let me think here. Got some other ideas in mind. Actually, let's do this one. I'll give a quick shout out because she's often tuning in, and of course we can't just check right now. But if Carolyn is here, Carolyn Parsons, if she's around, just give a hi in the comments, because I'll tell you what, you asked for a song the last few times. I feel really bad that we didn't have it relearned, I should say, because it's an older song. And I'll tell you, the gambit was we've learned it well enough that if you're here, we'll play it for you. But if you're not here, probably not well enough to just do it anyway. So if you're here, just give a shout out, and we'll give your song a try. It's an older one. It's about 9 years old now, so we're pulling it out of our memories. This is a song from my Great Wave album. It's a true story, and I guess they're all true stories, but some are maybe more true than others. And this is a song about a couple who were together for a while, and then they were not. And then after years apart, they decided to meet up just to catch up at a Japanese tea shop across from Notre Dame Cathedral in the old port of Montreal. So it has to be true, because that's way too specific to be fiction, right? Anyway, this song is their story. This is the conversation they had from start until they said goodbye again.
I'm gonna
And
step out because I don't sing on this one.
this is a
I'm
solo
gonna watch
one.
with all of you guys.
Yeah, Nancy's gonna heckle in the comments as me. That would be funny. It will look like I'm heckling me because she's logged in as me. All right, this
I'm
is
gonna
called.
just slowly creep out.
She's gonna move off to this side, I guess. This is called Japanese Tea Shop. In a Japanese tea shop across from Notre Dame, they teach you how every cup is poured, the ritual behind what was simple in our lives, and how to think of it as more. I meet you at a corner table at 2:45. You're married now, you're probably thinking about kids. I'm still just thinking about me. You're a photo from a frame. Yeah, you're frozen even as you move. Still elegant in gesture. You're still classic, beautiful. Oh, oh. It's easy to talk to you, and it's easy just to sit. History is a comfort now that we both carry it. I tell you about the road, I list the years that came before, and you tell me about your wedding day, and you tell me about your divorce coming soon. To a lawyer near you, you smile. And in the irony of movement, you ring, it catches the light, and you pull the cup close. I just keep watching your eyes. Some things you have to go through. You say and I agree, and though I know you mean right now, it was the same for you and me. Oh, oh. Well, I touch your arm as the tears they start to fall, and the cathedral bells ring out the time. You don't tell me to stop, though you say it makes it hard, and that I don't need to be kind. And in that moment I want to kiss you, but not kiss you out of lust. I wanted to show you that there are things that never rust. We're long past lovers now, and we're back around to love. And it's not a trip that we tried to make, it was one that we were taking on. And I tell you, you're a mystery, you're a language I never knew, and you smile as your reply. Hey, still the same old you. And the passing of another love has reminded us of time. And we talk of each other as if I were still yours, and as if you still were mine, and then prepare our goodbyes. In a Japanese tea shop across from Notre Dame, they teach you how every cup is poured, the ritual behind what was simple in our lives. Now we think of it as more. We should have had that clap track.
The only one here to cheer and clap.
Well, there's our cat. She's away somewhere. Apparently today is national or international? National. National Siamese Cat Day. I don't know who makes up these days, but I mean, you know, I took it as an opportunity
It's
to post a...
ironically, or not, I guess a little ironically, also National Rat Day.
Rat? Like a rat?
Yes.
Okay.
Because friends of ours that own pet rats also posted that it was National Rat Day, and I thought it was kind of cruel to have a cat day and a rat day at the same time. But sure. Maybe she'll make a brief appearance at the end of the concert.
Maybe.
Teaser, stay tuned.
If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see a picture of her in a bee outfit from Halloween because we're those people. So, you know, it seemed like a good opportunity to repost.
I'm gonna take that off me, and Ian is those people.
I am those people. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to keep going with a couple of more songs. So I guess the reintroduction, I'm Ian Foster, this is Nancy Hynes. You can see that at the top of your screen. And maybe for anybody tuning in who doesn't know, what's that?
I was going to say Matt here, unlikely. He's asking if there's any chance of hearing Pull the Car.
Oh, next time, buddy. Next time. So Home Roots, you're on their page, of course, by tuning in. Some of you definitely know about Home Roots. If you don't know, they're a very cool, I guess block booking is the industry term, but they do it for house concerts. So I was slated to play 12 house concerts in southern Alberta that would be starting next month, and will, like I mentioned, it's postponed now till the winter of next year. But such a cool idea and organization. They've been going a long time. Really nice people. Really looking out for musicians, so we're happy to be part of this national online folk festival that they're doing. I think we're the last act of the folk festival portion because they basically did a night for each of the artists they had to cancel as a result of the coronavirus, and they're starting a new series next week or later this week. So stay tuned to their page, like their page. And as for us, you know, we're just trying to figure out our way as musicians in this new age right now. We're still trying to work through these online shows. We hope you're enjoying them. They're definitely, you know, I've never done anything quite like this in my 15 years of playing, so I hope it's working out okay.
And we'd love to know where you're tuning in from. So if you haven't already
please
commented
comment
in the post, or if you know that we don't know you personally or very well, please, just be like, coming in from such and such a place, Alberta, or Ontario, or wherever you're tuning in. We'd love to know what part of the country or world.
So true.
I keep forgetting Facebook is not just Canada. Is that
No,
weird
and
that I forgot that?
It's been so cool to have some of our longtime friends from all over tune into these already. This is only our second full-length one we've done, so it's rewarding for us. And we do have a PayPal link at the top of this description here if you did want to do a pay what you can for the concert. I know there's a lot of these. If you're a music fan, you probably see a lot in your feed every day, so don't feel any pressure, but if you're enjoying the show, it certainly helps us. This is what we do for a living, so you can do that. And I mentioned this earlier, I'll mention it again. We released a new song last week. We're not going to play it tonight because it literally, I wrote the song last week, like within the last 7 days, and now it's out there in the world. So literally, I don't think I know it well enough to perform it, even though we kind of wrote it and recorded it all in this flurry. I want to share it with you. We'll post it in the comments section at the end, so you can scroll to the last comment once we finish the concert. It's on YouTube for free. But if anybody does do the pay what you can tonight, we'll send you a Dropbox link with you know, the CD quality file or whatever if you want to hear the song that way.
Then you can put it on your phone and cry in the car.
That might be true. Might be too real, Nancy. Too real.
Sorry, guys.
So I'm going to play a song now. I don't think any show would be complete, at least for me, without playing a song, at least either by or about or both, what I think to be Newfoundland's greatest songwriter, Ron Hynes. Just such an incredible force. You know, anybody like me who's a Newfoundlander playing original music in 2020 owes a debt to Ron he was the first album of all original Newfoundland music, I think, that we know about, which is incredible. You know, he helped forge that path, wrote about us and our history in so many songs, like Atlantic Blue about the Ocean Ranger disaster, of course, Sonny's Dream, so many people know that song. You know, 30 for 60, a card song, you know, St. John's Waltz about the town we are in right now. The list just goes on. And Ron was a mentor of mine. We wrote a song together way back from my first record in 2007. It's called Decisions, and he was very good to me ever since, you know, and of course he passed away a couple of years ago now, and that night is now legend in the city of St. John's. All the power went out in downtown St. John's, thousands and thousands of homes within a half an hour of that news coming out. And, there's so many incredible stories. I think one of my favorites comes from Fred's Records, which is our sort of independent rebel record store that's still going through all the changes in the music industry. They heard the news, they put on one of Ron's albums to close out the night when they heard that he had passed, and all of the power went out on that street, Duckworth Street, up to and including the building attached to Fred's Records, but not Fred's Records. And anyone who knew the legend of Ron Hynes would know he just wanted his record to keep going. I was on my couch upstairs, this very house, and the power went, and I took down this guitar, and you don't set out to write a song in a moment like that. You just set out to process a little bit, but a song actually did come pretty quickly. That happens very rarely for me, but this was one of those times, and I just started thinking about all those songs he left behind, the ones I just mentioned, and how that is the best thing any songwriter can hope for in passing, is that, their music lives on and that they get to continue to tell their stories. They left their songs. So that's how I wrote this one, and it's for Ron, and it always will be. It's called You Left a Song. Everything in the verses is a reference to a Ron Hynes song. If you're a Ron Hynes fan, you'll spot him, I'm sure. And this goes out to those people just using music to get through this, You left a song. You left a song in the stones of Solomon's Lane, a song at the bar of the Rose, a song in the water under bridges you burned, a song for a lifetime that goes. You left a song with the dogs roaming the streets, a song for running out the door. You left a song in the honor of an island in tears, a song on the ocean's floor. So tell me, how did you make 'em all shine, even in the darkest night? How did you break so many hearts just by turning off the lights? You left a song on the ice, a song in the cards, in the eye of the needle sting, a song in a young man's rambling shoes, a song at the heart of things. You left a song in the rooms of your empty home, a song on a distant shore. You left a song on the step as you were walking away, to show us that there could be more. So tell me, how did you make 'em all shine, even in the darkest night? How did you break so many hearts just by turning off the lights? So tell me, how did you make 'em all shine, even in the darkest night? How did you break so many hearts just by turning off the lights? Just by turning off the lights. Thanks. How's it going in the comment section, Nancy?
Good, good. Jim is thanking you for this song. Shauna said this. I actually glanced at the iPad while we were singing, which is a mistake for those of you that are going to be doing live things in the future. Because Shauna said, I love this song. And then Jerry said, you loved a song? Which kind of struck me really funny as the worst dad joke ever. But anyways, you guys are welcome. Yeah, Graham Lindsay is here.
Hey, Graham, how's it going?
Mike Chaffini is here.
Oh, hey, Mike. How's it going? Mike, I'll say some words about Mike, as he would expect.
Mike Chaffini.
I've done some film work as well in my strange and windy career, and I made a film back in, was it 2015 now, 2016, called Keystone. It was my second short film, and it was through a wonderful program in Newfoundland called Picture Start, which is a training program with sort of a full budget to make a short film, and with a full crew of 30 or 40 people. And Mike Chaffini was my wonderful producer. He was living here at the time. He's now living in Toronto. And we did some fun stuff with that, didn't we, Mike? We went to the Calgary International Film Festival.
Yeah, hold on.
Yep.
I would like you to
I'm
acknowledge
sorry.
my part
I'm sorry, that's
in
true.
this film. Because you might have written it and directed it and produced it and edited it and did the score for it.
I definitely didn't edit it, but yes, that was Chris
that's
Darlington.
true.
He was awesome.
My mistake. That's one of the many things I listed you didn't do. But I would like to say for the record that I was craft service.
That's true. And anyone who's been on a film set knows that truly is, all irony
If
aside,
no coffee,
is the most important thing.
Everybody revolts, so I am the glue.
Plus, for anybody who is rooting for Nancy here, she did temporarily blow out the power to the St. John's International Airport by plugging in
the whole airport,
a coffee
just like
maker.
a floor of the airport. I didn't no planes were harmed in the making of this film. They did have to bring in an electrician on Good Friday, though.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That cost us a bunch of money, actually. Mike would be able to tell us the exact value as the
Please
producer.
don't.
But anyway. So, hey, it's nice to see you, man. Okay, this was a request as well. It's a winter song. Promise, it's not a second Christmas song. I'm not trying to get away with anything here. This was actually on a record of mine called The Evening Light back in 2011. And as I mentioned, we're here on April 6th in Newfoundland, which is really about halfway through winter part 2. We still have too much snow on our deck to go outside. That's a shame for probably many of the people tuning in who are out, at least breathing in air and seeing things grow, like normal places. In Newfoundland, it's a long winter, and this song was written during one of those. It was, it's a bit about loneliness. It's a bit about, thinking about that person who can make that go away. It's called You and the Snowplows. Nancy's reading comments again. Please tell me.
Paul, hilarious. Paul's like, sounds like Nancy turned out the lights. Come on.
Wow.
Thanks,
wow,
Paul.
Can we get a moderator in here on this thread of comments? That would be good. You and the Snowplows.
It's you and the snowplows tonight. They make a way, and you follow right behind. In the sleeping city, you're the one who moves, leaving a trail of snow tire grooves in the road. So here you are, surrounded by winter growing old, when all that you ever wanted was to come in out of the cold. It's you and the engine tonight. Feel yourself humming, you don't know left from right. You slow down at the overpass as the changeover starts and the roads turn into glass. So here you are, surrounded by winter, growing old, when all that you ever wanted was to come in out of the cold. It's you and the snowplows tonight. They cut through the dark. You follow the flashing lights. You pull up to a frozen lawn, and you know that her smile is what you needed all along. So here you are, surrounded by winter, growing old, when all that you ever wanted was to come in out of the cold. It's you and the snowplows tonight. It's you and the snowplows tonight. It's you and the snowplows tonight. You and the snowplows tonight.
Well, thanks a lot. You know, actually, I was reminded of, as I was playing that one of the special flattering things that happened at the end of last year for me was a dear friend of mine and a really great songwriter in her own right, Shauna Caspi, who's been in the thread. I don't know if she still is, but she did a really lovely cover of that song.
I was totally going to mention this.
Yeah, and I was flattered in multiple ways because she's got this series that she does once a year. She calls it Sad Christmas Songs, I think, or Sad Winter Songs, whichever one it was. And I was like, yeah, that's a sad winter song. And it was she does a great version of that song. And the only hint I had that she was doing it was randomly she texted me one day and was like, fill in the blank for me, and had a question about one of the lyrics because she couldn't make out what I sang. And I corrected whatever it was, and she went, okay, and then said nothing more. And then a week later, I saw this upload online. I thought that was really sweet. Good job, Shauna.
Yeah.
Check out her music. Yeah. Post the link, yeah.
You might as well.
But yeah, check out Shauna's music. She's awesome and has been doing live streams as well. Yeah. Cool.
Well, Shauna is still here. A special shout out to my lovely, dear, one of my oldest friends, whose birthday it is today. Miss Barbara Ross Nielsen is joining us live from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. I've known Barbara literally her entire life. I say that because she's younger than I am, but only by a year. As I love you. Thank you for joining us, and I wish I could be there with you.
Barbara is an incredible person, and her
a beautiful
children,
singer.
And is a beautiful singer, and her children are amazing. And she will occasionally text me and say that her children know some of my songs, but not by their actual titles. They call it "Critical Call," which is "Feels Like It Wants to Rain," because that is a lyric. And I'm trying to remember the other
Company Card.
Company Card from New Rush for an Old Town, and I'm like, these are badass titles that I should have just called these songs instead of what I actually called them. You know, like. From the mouths of babes.
Yeah, I think they were listening to our Christmas record like up till last week. They were requesting it on in their house to dance to it.
And I apologize
so
for that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, seriously.
I hope they didn't make you do that on your birthday. But we love you and we miss you. And anyways, that's all my gushing.
So I think we're reaching the end of the show. I want to say a special thanks again, to Home Roots for hosting us, letting us take over their site to do this stream. For any hosts or people who know Home Roots who are being introduced to us, thanks for tuning in and getting to meet us, and I hope you enjoyed what you heard. And please find us online. You know, myself and Nancy, we have Facebook pages. You can subscribe and keep in touch, and we'll be out your way again in the winter through the actual Home Roots circuit that's been rescheduled. We're doing this concert as a pay what you can. If you can, you can click the PayPal link at the top, no pressure. And we'll be back with some more streaming shows probably later in April. We have one on April 29th presented by the Osprey Theatre in Shelburne, Nova Scotia. We're excited about that one. More on that soon. And we're just figuring out how to live in this new reality. I'm sure you all are as well, and I hope you're doing okay with it. This is the way we keep in touch now, and it's just so cool to see so many friends in the comments, or at least have Nancy relay their messages, over to me on the other side of the room.
And isn't it so great to be doing something on a live video that's not a meeting?
Right.
Like for your company, or to arrange something, just
Totally.
to gather for something hopefully nice and cool.
Totally. So, from our house to yours, thanks for tuning in. We've got another song, and as I mentioned earlier, we've got this new song, Sienna, and I'll just say a little bit about that song in advance here, because we're going to post the link. Like I said, it's so new. We literally are still kind of relearning it to play it live, but, Nancy and I first toured in Italy in 2010. It's hard to believe that was 10 years ago. Our very first tour outside of Canada, Italy was like the first place to embrace us with a wonderful booking agent, Luca, hello, and Ruben, who was so gracious to us and played guitar. Ruben plays guitar without a guitar strap, upside down, left-handed, if you can wrap your head around that. It's really incredible. Like, he'd be making chord shapes, and I'd be like, what chord is that? And he'd be like, it's a C chord. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's upside down.
It's upside down.
Just so many great people we've met there over the years. It holds such a special place in our hearts in so many ways. And so to see this sort of devastation hit them so hard has been difficult for Nancy and I. We've been keeping in touch with some friends there. And I saw that video, maybe you guys did too, of the people of Siena, Italy, singing out their windows, and they're singing a song called Canto della Verbena, which is sort of an old patriotic folk song. Verbena is a plant. It grows in the fields outside the original walls of Siena. And really, I mean, it's sort of a, almost like a sporting song, I think, for the town, a rah-rah kind of song. But, of course, like everything in Italy, it has layers.
Everybody there knows it.
Yeah, everybody knows it, and it has layers like everything in Italy, beautiful layers of history. And basically, it's about them bringing water to the town for the first time. Siena's not built on a river like most of those towns, and so they drew water in these underground tunnels 25 kilometers away, fill their fountains, and the song is about the verbena growing in the fields because of that water that they redirected under the fields, or that's what it's thought to be anyway. And so I just thought the images there and the sort of, the triumph over nature and the sort of all that, I mean, it's hard to imagine then them singing that out their windows to each other in lockdown in these empty streets, very emotional for us, especially, having friends there. And so that's what the song's about. And my song heavily references that original song, Canto della Verbena. So if you want to hear it, it's on YouTube, and we're going to post the link at the end of this session. Anyone who's commented will see the little notification go up. So.
And there's a whole section, there's a video that you can look up as well of them singing it out the windows to each other.
Yeah.
Just in the empty streets, you can hear dogs barking, and they're all just singing it to each other from their windows, and it was so beautiful. You'll hear it at the end of our recording as well.
That dog is singing it for real. Seriously, you'll hear it when you so thanks again. Keep in touch. Find us on all the social media stuff, and we'll stay in touch, and we'll do this again, and we'll gather again. And this is all we can do for now, but we'll soon gather in person, I'm sure. So as a lot of shows, we close with this one, sort of a song of good hope from us to you. Thanks again. This is called Daybreak. When the veil of fear has been lifted, and
we start staring towards the sky, you will wonder why you worried all these years and how they all went by. When the promise of love has been kept and the dreams you had came true, you will wonder why you had so little faith and how the little that you had saw you through. And I say this from the other side of anger and regret, across the fields of our war. So pull yourself together and put on a pretty dress, and we'll dance in the light once more. When you've forgiven yourself for the past and start living in today, you will wonder why your sadness did last and how it stood in your way. And I say this from the other side of anger and regret, across the fields of our war. So pull yourself together and put on a pretty dress, and we'll dance in the light once more. I say this from the other side of anger and regret, across the fields of our war. So pull yourself together and put on a pretty dress, and we'll dance in the light once more. And we'll dance in the light once more. Dance in the light once more.
Okay, so Nancy, before we sign off, should we bring in, as I joked the first time, the headliner? Let's do it. So Nancy's just going to run out for a second. We're going to say goodbye in like 30 seconds, but first, it will be remiss, especially on, as we mentioned, this is somehow National Siamese Cat Day. I don't think that's real, but apparently it is. To not bring in the star of our show. She loves this room because there's cables she can choose, so she's never allowed in it. But this is our little friend in quarantine, and since September. Her name is Evelyn, and there she is.
I'll bring her close.
Yeah.
This is your adoring public.
If you have any questions for Evelyn, you can message them now. I'm sure you do. A friend joked today that she said that cat, that when I posted the... That's terrifying. When I posted the bee costume, a friend said that cat is screaming on the inside, and I said, you don't know the half of it. She's usually screaming on the outside all the time because she's a Siamese, and she's very excited about
She's never been allowed to smell a microphone before.
No. I'm seeing, it's amazing. I'm just seeing love symbols come up in the feed on the side here. So I
Graham,
guess...
Evelyn has missed you since the day you left.
Yeah. Graham Lindsay is a pen pal of Evelyn's now. They write letters occasionally. And they shared one special night together. There it is. How does that sound with reverb, I wonder? Anyway, okay, thanks again for tuning in. Like I said, we're going to post some links at the end here. So we just want to say thanks to Home Roots. Thank you for tuning in, folks. It means a lot to us, and we'll see you again real soon.
We'll see you down the road.
Okay, bye.